Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Mikro Loves Hockey. I'm your host Mikro, and let's jump right in to see how I did on last week's predictions. So first up, the Nashville Predators. Well, this one was rough. I had the Predators winning 4-3 in overtime over Colorado, but instead, the Avs shut them out. Not exactly the comeback I was hoping for after a long break. The Predators are still at the bottom of the Central, and after that game, yeah, they got some climbing to do. Now let's move on to the San Jose Sharks. These boys had a busy week at home, a busy homestand. I called a 3-2 win over the Utah Mammoth in overtime. And guess what? The Sharks did win 3-2 in overtime. Nail that one. Next, they took on the LA Kings. This one went all the way to a shootout. And the Sharks won again, 4-3. Their next game was against the Ottawa Senators, and the Sens eked out a 3-2 win. And one of those goals was scored by Fabian Zetterlund, who is a former Shark. Last night, they played the Boston Bruins, and the Sharks bounced back with a 3-1 win. Askarov had an amazing game. Now, up to Toronto. The Leafs are in big trouble, even though they snapped their 5-game losing streak and beat the St. Louis Blues 3-2 in overtime. Craig Berube beating his old team? Love it. But that was the end of celebrations for this week. Their next challenge was taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. This one flipped the other way, with Columbus winning 3-2 in overtime. Okay, imagine this. The Leafs travel to Montreal to play the Habs at the Centre Bell on a Saturday night. A classic rival. The Leafs started off strong, and then it just went south. The Habs took it 5-2, not Toronto's best showing, and they have now lost 7 of their last 8 games. Rough stretch for the boys in blue. There's a lot of injuries, but they gotta hold it together. Now let's move on to this week's predictions. The Preds have been rested, like really rested. So I'm calling a bounce back. Also, their captain, Roman Josi, is back from an injury. They'll be taking on the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs, the Florida Panthers. Catfight, and the Predators win 4-2. And I would also like to point out that both Panthers teams are playing tonight because the Carolina Panthers are playing the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. The Sharks don't play again until the day after tomorrow at Ball Arena against the Colorado Avalanche, who have just pulled off back-to-back shutouts against the Predators and the Chicago Blackhawks. So many of these Sharks games have been close this year, and if you aren't following them, you really should be. They're fun to watch. I think this one against the Avs will also be close. I'm calling the Sharks win 3-2. The Leafs will be on their second game of a 6-game road trip at Nationwide Arena against the Columbus Blue Jackets. These boys need a dub, like badly. They need to score early and often. I'm not giving up on them, and I'm calling a 4-3 win in overtime because the Leafs seem to love overtime. So there you have it. What do you think is going to happen this week? Drop your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with another hockey fan. Until next time, peace, man.